Okay, so this video is going to cover all the loops with tables documents. So there's for loops with tables, while loops with tables, and nested loops with tables. So I am going to zoom this up a little bit so that it just doesn't look small on the video. All right, so, and I'm not going to go through every single one because, again, I have all the answers on here in your tables so you can see what happens. But I would like to go through at least the first two with you, work this one, and then I'll work one from scratch. So it says determine the output of the for loop below. So these tables can actually help if you're struggling with loops. So what I did was A is 2, B is 4, and C is B, so C is 4. So I write down, this is kind of the table I would write out for my multiple choice questions. So I've got an A, a B, and a C. So I put down 2, 4, and 4. Then I got I is equal to A, so A is 2, so I is 2. And then I've got a Boolean expression, 2 is less than or equal to 4. So this is eventually going to get us out of the for loop down here. Then what happens is I run this, so I run that. So 2 is less than or equal to 4, so then I've got C, which is 4, and I is 2. We add those together, and now the new value of C is 6, so I write 6 here. Okay. Then what happens is I gets added up by 1, so I've got a 3 there. My 2 and my 4 never change for A and B. So now I've got I is less than or equal to 4, so 3 is less than or equal to 4, and so then I add I to C, so we've got 6 and 3 is 9, so I write down 9 for C, okay? And then I add 1 to I, so I becomes 4. A and B never changed. So is 4 less than or equal to 4? Yes, so I take my 9 and 4, add them together, it gets 13. C becomes 13. I add 1 to I becomes 5. 2 and 4 never change. And so then I check again, is 5 less than or equal to 4? Yes, or sorry, no, it's not. So now this for loop is complete and it prints C. And then right here, the last value of C was 13, so your answer was C right there. So next up, and I'll just kind of fill this in a little bit. So I'll just say this is first, this is going to be second, third. Now I'm only able to fill it in like this because I know I gave you guys the table on how big it should be, but on your worksheet you won't be able to do that, all right? And you might not even want to write the iteration that you're on. I'm only doing it just for this reason, but you might have a question that asks how many times is your loop going to iterate, and this would be a way to do it. So just run it and then count how many times it iterates. Okay, so I've got my variable f, g, and I, and then I is less than or equal to 5, and then what do I got? I've got f equals f plus g, and I got g equals f minus g. And I apologize. Let's see here if I can fix these real quick. The word automatically changes though, so let's do I. There we go. Okay, f is 0, g is 1, and I is 0. So is 0 less than or equal to 5? And so what do I got here? I've got 0 plus 1, and that is equal to, what is that equal to? 1 right there, okay? So f is now 1, so I go here and change f to 1. Then up here I've got what? F is 1, right? So I got 1 minus g, which is 1. Okay, so that could be a little confusing to you because this is changing right here, so I'm changing the value even though it's on the second iteration. but g is 1 right here, so 1 minus 1 is 0. So now g is 0. We go back up, loop back up, we add 1 to I, so I becomes 1. 1 is less than or equal to 5. So then what do we got here? We've got f, which is 1, plus g, which is 0. So f is still 1. So I'll make sure I've got that down right there, 1. And then I've got f is 1 minus g, which is 0. So 1 minus 0 is 1. So g becomes 1, I becomes 2. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Let's see here. We've got f is 1 plus g is 1. So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. And now we've got, so I'll change my f to 2. And so then I have what here? I have 2 minus 1. So g is still 1. And so I'll put 1 there. I becomes 3. 3 is less than or equal to 5. So then I've got 2 plus 1. So it becomes 3. And then I have, let's see here, I've got 2 minus, and g is 1. No, I didn't do that right. It's not 1, because remember I gotta do that. I gotta put my 3 down here and update my f. So that's, make sure you're paying attention to that. 3 minus 1 is now 2. So g is 2, and I is, we add 1, so it becomes 4. 4 is less than or equal to 5. So we've got f is 3 plus, and g is 2. So f is now 5. So I put 5 down here. And so then f is 5 minus g, which is 2. So g becomes 3. So g is 3. Becomes 5. 5 is less than or equal to 5. That's true. So then I've got 5 plus 3, and that gives me 8. 8. And so then f is 5 minus, whoops, that's not, again, I almost did it again there. So then I gotta change that to 8. So then I've got 8 minus g, which is 3, gives me 5. And then so my final answer for g is what, 5? And this becomes 6. 6 is less than or equal to 5. That's not true, so you are done. So these are your final values of f, g, and I. And there's just no way you could do that. What is the final value for f? So the answer is D. 8 prints. So there's just no way you could do this in your head. There's too many moving parts for this to happen. So you definitely have to write this stuff out, okay? Let's do the while loop one. So I'm going to view this a little bit larger. Okay, so we've got x is 10. 10 is less than or 100. X is 10, so 10 plus 10 is 20. So this becomes 20. 20 is less than 100. 20 plus 10 is 30. So then you can see how easy this is. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Is 100 less than 100? No. So what will be the value after the following code is executed? The answer is 100. Okay, so pretty easy. Let's see here. We've got x, y. Y is less than 100. And then we got x plus equals y, and y plus equals 20. So I'm going to make these lowercase. X and y. And again, I'm going to just fill this out because I already, I did it for you kind of, so. And here's your fifth pass. So x is 10, y is 20. Is 20 less than 100? Yes. So x is basically equal to 10 plus 20. So x is what? 30. So I go down here and change that to 30. And so what do I got here? Y is equal to 20 plus 20. So y is now 40. Okay. And so y becomes 40. So is 40 less than 100? That's true. So x is basically equal to what? 30 plus 40. So x becomes 70. So put 70 down. And then we've got y is pretty much equal to y, which is 40 plus 20 again. So y becomes 60. Oops. So 60. So is 60 less than 100? Yep. So then we have x is equal to 70 plus 60. So x is now equal to 130. Oops. 130. And y is equal to, y equals, the value of y is 60 plus 20. And so y becomes 80. So y is 80. So is 80 less than 100? That's true. So we've got x equals 130 plus 80. And so that is what, 210? 210. And then we've got y is equal to 80 plus 20. And so y is equal to 100. So y is 100. Is 100 less than 100? Yes, that's true. So these are your final answers. What is it asking you? Complete the table and determine the value of x after the following code is executed. So after all this is executed, x is 210. Okay? So those are your while loops. You should be writing out your tables. Now, last one, we got practice nested loops. So these are definitely the hardest ones. And I guess the best way I can think about these, and maybe I can just show a good picture here. So like, let's do a 21 speed bike. And I might have to go lower on the speeds. I don't know, because they're going to have different. Let's look at just the images, so you guys can kind of think about. Here we go. That's a good one right there. Okay, so think about this. You've got your different outer. I don't even know what these things are called, but there's like an outer type. I guess gear here, and the chain goes around the different gears, right? And so the smaller the gear is, the faster you're able to pedal, because this chain doesn't have to go around as as big of a diameter. But as the gear gets bigger, you pedal slower and it goes slower. So I would think about your outer loop kind of being like this, and then your inner loop spinning and doing everything inside of it. So you do your outer loop once, and then the inner loop does everything inside of it. So it spins. So like if you had an outer loop that was to spin, or was to print, or to go around 5 times, and your inner loop was to go around 5 times as well, your outer loop would go once, and then your inner loop would go 5 times. So your outer loop would go 2, then your inner loop would go 5 times again. Your outer loop would go 3, your inner loop would go 5 times again. Outer loop would go 4, inner loop 5 times again. Outer loop 5, inner loop 5 times again. So the inner loop would spin 25 times, or iterate 25 times during that whole cycle, where the outer loop would only go 5 times. And that's kind of just like physically, just because a lot, everything with programming is definitely, you kind of look at this on paper and you're like, I'm not sure this makes sense, but so I'm trying to bring out more of the the physical world and how to kind of think about that, and that's the best example that I can think of. So let's kind of go through this one. So complete the table. Let's see here. Complete the table and determine the output of the following nested loop. Okay, so we've got an I, our j that's 1, and then we got 1 is less than or equal to 3, and then we get inside here. So this is true, 1 is less than or equal to 3, so this is true. So k is 3, 3 is greater than or equal to 1, so then it prints a j and then a space, and then it subtracts 1 from k, so k becomes 2. It goes back up and goes k, which is 2, is greater than or equal to 1. So it prints j again right here. And so then it goes back up, subtracts 1 from k, so k becomes 1. 1 is greater than or equal to 1, so it prints a third j. So this is what it would print for the first line of code. Because this is a print statement, all right? It would not print j, new line, jj, new line, jjj. I'm just doing the exact steps. So this is the line that would actually print. So once that prints, and then it goes back up, and then it subtracts 1, so k becomes 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 1? No. So this loop is now complete. And so it does a println to go to a brand new line, and then it comes back up and it adds 1 to j. J becomes 2 now. So j becomes 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 3? That is true, so it comes back in. And so k becomes 3 again. Is 3 greater than or equal to 2? Yep, so it does the j, comes back up, takes 1 from k, k becomes 2. Is 2 greater than or equal to 2? Yes, prints another j, goes back up, subtracts 1 from k, k becomes 1. Is 1 greater than or equal to 2? Nope. So that's done. So the second line prints j and j like this. So you've got 1, 2, 3 on the first line, and then 1, 2. Just based off of that and the answer, we know that D is the correct answer. But we'll just go through the last line, all right? So it prints a brand new line. J becomes 3. Is 3 less than or equal to 3? Yep. K is 3. Is 3 less than or equal to 3? Yep. So it prints J. Subtracts 1, k becomes 2. Is 2 greater than or equal to 3? No. So it's done. Prints a new line and comes back up and adds 1 to k. Is k less than or equal to 3? Nope. So you're done. That's kind of a lot. All right. And so you definitely want to practice these. So let's do one of these. All right. So x is x, y. X is less than y. And then we've got x plus plus. Then we've got x is less than y. Yep, and then we got y minus minus, and then we have system.out.println, and it wants to print x plus a blank plus y. Alright, so again, I'll just do these, second, third, and fourth. Alright, so it's looking for just seeing what it prints at the end. So let me just make sure x, y, x minus y, x plus plus, x is less than y, x minus y. Okay, cool. So first iteration, you got 2 and 5. Is 2 less than 5? Yes. So we add 1 to x. X becomes 3. Then we've got 3 is less than y, which is 5. That's true. So y becomes 4 because we subtract 1 from it. So this is our inner loop now. So is 3 less than 4 or 3 less than 5? Yep. So then we subtract 1, it becomes 4. So then is 3 less than 4? Yep. So y becomes what? Y becomes 3. And then we subtract, so we subtracted 1. So then is 3 less than 3? 3 less than 3? Nope, that's not true. So this inner loop is done. It comes back up, and what is x? X is 3, and y is 3. And so then right here is 3 less than 3? Is 3 less than 3? Nope. So the outer loop is done because it didn't go in the inner one. So 3 is less than 3. That's false. So the outer loop is done. So then it just jumps down to here and prints 3 space 3. Okay. So your answer would be C on here. So again, I have all the answers down here, but it's really up to you guys to watch this video and figure out how this stuff works, because a lot of the AP questions are loop and nested loop type questions combined with arrays and stuff like that, which we'll learn later in the year. So